So his main point, he says, is the transcendental argument for God's existence. And so he says he comes thirdly then to the transcendental proof of God's existence. How then should the difference of opinion between the theist and the atheist be rationally resolved? He says we've observed that belief in the existence of God is not tested in any ordinary way, right? Not by looking at crackers in the pantry, like other factual claims. And the reason for that is metaphysically, because of the non-natural character of God, and epistemologically, because of the presuppositional character of commitment for or against his existence. So we test the existence of God, but not in, he says, the ordinary crackers in a box way, because there's a metaphysical difference between just crackers in the box and there's an epistemological issue that needs to be observed and pointed out, right? Which is the presuppositional character of commitment for or against God's existence.
How are we having this debate? What's going to go on? What must we do? He says, because there's these conflict between worldviews, therefore, they must be resolved somewhat differently and yet still rationally than conflicts over factual existence claims within a worldview or a system of thought. When we go to look at different worldviews that atheists and theists have, he suggests that you can prove the existence of God from the impossibility of the contrary, the transcendental proof for God's existence, that without him, it is impossible to prove anything at all.
So there it is. He lays it out there. There it is. The impossibility of the contrary. That's his basic argument, right? If God doesn't exist, we can't prove anything at all. And so God must exist. That's, notice, and the conclusion, God must exist. This isn't a probability state. God must exist, because without God, we can't prove anything at all. He says the transcendental analysis asks what the preconditions for the intelligibility of human experience are. What are the preconceptions that must exist in order for us to know anything? Human intelligibility. Or another way of putting it is asking, under what conditions is it possible to make sense of the world or to rationally experience it? So this is, again, Joshua kind of commentary here. And he says the atheist worldview is irrational and cannot consistently provide the preconditions of intelligible experience or science or logic or morality. The atheist worldview cannot allow, for instance, the laws of logic. It doesn't allow for, right? Or the uniformity of nature. Why is nature uniform? Why does it always act the way it does? The ability of the mind to understand the world. Moral absolutes. The atheist worldview doesn't allow for those types of things. And so in that sense, the atheist worldview cannot account for the debate tonight, is how he ends it.
Yeah. So I think that's it. He starts with the nature of the debate and he ends with the nature of the debate. And it's really interesting to say we sit in this Colosseum and hash it out, but being able to sit in this Colosseum to hash it out proves the existence of God. So even by stepping up to the podium, Dr. Stein, you admit that you need to borrow from the Christian worldview in order to make sense of it.
You lost the debate before you started the debate.
Accepted. Good. Thank you. I appreciate the win. Have a good night.